his attorney, Corbett Edge O'Meara, is back with us from Detroit to take your calls. Hey, by the way, before we start, Corbett, your middle name, is that Edge? Is that something you added? Is it because you get an edge in the courtroom?
Well, I am the edge you need in court, but it's my mother's maiden name.
Okay.
So I didn't like it when I was a kid. I love it now.
Okay. All right. We learn something new every day. Thank you very much, Edge. Let's take the first call from Gail in New York. Gail, how you doing?
I'm good, Ryan. How are you?
Good. Hey, Gail, what do you think about Jamar Sr.'s testimony?
Jamar Sr. to me has been the poster boy for control since he set foot in that courtroom. As the prosecutor caught him in the contradiction, he kept his cool while going over the details of the molestation. He kept his cool while reliving the moments that led up to the murder, and the murder itself, he was so matter of fact. I mean, this is your child. When was the last time a parent tried to extract information from their child holding a gun to their head? To me, this is premeditated. He was going to show his daughter's mother that he would again take control of the situation and rid the family of that problem once and for all.
So the coolness is what makes you think it's premeditated in these cases?
Yeah, I just think he's in control when he wants to be, and he's out of control when he wants to be, and I think that he's using it as an excuse. I mean, that's my opinion, but that's just how I see him.
All right, thank you so much, Gail. Corbett, is that what's happening here? Is this a man who's used to being in control? I know you're not going to sit here and say this is what he did, he planned it, but the affect makes a big difference in this case, and he's coming off as so cool and calm, and jury members might think that means calculated.
Well, as I discussed on Friday, if I could hire an actor to be a defendant, I wouldn't have hired Jamar Pinckney Sr. He does come off as very flat. He does come off as very emotionless. I wish, looking back on the trial, that he had managed to muster up some emotion. During the direct examination of Mr. Pinckney, I felt that I was having a harder time asking the questions than he was having answering them. And to the degree that the jury felt that way, and the way the caller saw the testimony is certainly how the prosecutor saw the testimony and how Jamar Jr.'s family and friends saw the testimony. It was not great testimony on the part of Jamar Sr. and his demeanor in the courtroom was very flat. I wish if I could script this and I could direct it as a Hollywood producer or something, I would have somebody who was a darn sight more emotional than Jamar Pinckney Sr. was. But we take them the way we get them.
Yeah, you can't know how your clients are going to act in court. Good point. And let's bring in our next caller, Elaine from Washington State. Elaine, I want to ask you if you have a question for Corbett. What do you think? Do you have a question for him?
I really have two comments to make.
Okay.
By the way, hi, Ryan.
Hi.
Okay, Mr. O'Meara, I think we beat to death the fact that Mr. O'Meara has a flat affect. But you mentioned in one of your other interviews that he was on medication. Is that something you could have brought up when you started talking to him, as far as that he was medicated, and maybe let the jury take from that what they wanted? Maybe that would have explained to them a little bit that he was medicated?
Okay, so the idea of possibly being medicated. What's your other question, Elaine?
Well, my other question was, well, it's a comment, and that is that I think everybody's talked a lot about the fact that he snapped and what that means and so forth and so on, and it's part of his defense. But to me, and I think to a lot of people, I've been a juror 9 different times.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. Thank
They've
you for your
liked me at the
service.
courthouse, I guess.
All right.
But, and I've been on a rape trial too. But as far as that snapping, I think people look at that more like if he had walked into the room and saw his son raping his daughter, that would have been something where you might have pulled your gun and shot and just an immediate reaction to that.
I see what you're saying, Elaine. Very good point. Elaine, thank you so much for your call. That snapping might have been something if you walked right in and saw it. But, Corbett, I want to quickly address her first point, which was the medication aspect. She heard that before. Maybe if that's the case of what happened here, maybe was there a way for you to try to introduce that or get the jury to see that? What do you think about that?
Well, hindsight is 20/20, and as I understand it, he was on were very mild antidepressants where you wouldn't really expect a profound flattening of emotions or anything like that. It wasn't like he was on some sort of heavy psychotropic drugs. He wasn't on lithium or anything like that. And I was hoping, since I had seen him emote in the jail when we had talked, since I had seen him present in a better way, that he was going to present in a better way. And I think that by offering an excuse, and again, people can be as critical as they want in hindsight, and be things that we could have done differently, did differently. But I didn't want to draw attention to his lack of emotion. I didn't want to be explaining what I was hoping the jurors would find to be a sympathetic demeanor by making excuses, and the excuses that the prosecutor would be able to blow out of the water, because a very antidepressant isn't necessarily going to immobilize a person emotionally.
All right. Hey, Corbett, let me go to the next call, by the way. I want to take Tina, so we have some time here. I want to take Tina in Ohio. Tina, how you doing today?
Fine, how are you today?
Good. So what's your comment?
I think Jamar Pickney is getting a very unfair trial. I have seen him show emotions over the trial. I've seen him actually turn his back away so that he doesn't get overwhelmed with the testimony that's going on. I've seen him wipe his eyes. I've seen him show facial expression to where you can tell that he's feeling something. And to say that he's cold and heartless and he doesn't love his son, I think that's just a little unfair, considering he spent time with his son. And he made sure he was getting a quality education that he had gotten. He put him in a place of safety, and I don't think that was very fair for people to continue to say he didn't love his son.
Okay, Liz, good point. And thank you for calling in, too. I want to take our next caller while we have some time. I'm sorry, that was Tina. Tina, thank you so much for that point. I want to take our next caller, Liz in Tennessee. Liz, what are your thoughts?
Hi, my opinion was that he was coached to use more of his intelligence and less emotions, because he does sound like a very intelligent man. And I just don't believe that, like the caller just before me, she believes that I saw emotion in him.
Okay, Liz, I got to go, unfortunately, but I want to ask Corbett very quickly. Corbett, did you coach him?
No, we talked to him about his testimony. We talked to him about what the jury wanted to hear in terms of his expression of remorse and being horrified by what had happened. But attempting to alter a person's demeanor is beyond me, and I guess I'd rather get too much credit than not enough, but we didn't tell him how to testify.
All right, Corbett Edge O'Meara, thank you so much. Thank you so much as well to our callers. And everyone, I want you to be sure to join us tomorrow when the attorneys wrap up their closing arguments and the jurors reveal the